So Moody, you've taken this kind of disciplined football guy who's also a troublemaker, making good grades. Then you went to college, did well. Then you got into VC, did well. Now you're doing your own thing. What does the future look like for you? I mean, it looks great, but what is it?
Yeah, I see this as being like a 3 to 5 year journey potentially, and like plus maybe. But I will say, we started this. One of the things that I saw with portfolio companies at Mercury Fund was, like there are liquidity windows when you start a business, and it's good to keep your head kind of above water and like watch for opportunities as they come. Like where does my business end up? It could be the case that we IPO, but that's statistically like highly unlikely. And so, if I'm just kind of like guessing, it's going to take us several years to build a business, like a real business, and prove what we're doing. And what we're doing is not as complicated as what Q Engineering did, but it's also not simple because there are a lot of stakeholders involved. And so our product is getting there. We have an MVP that we think is getting close to product market fit, but it's going to be several years before like we've really accomplished anything. If I'm looking out 10 years, it would be amazing what we're doing, just to like summarize it, is we're trying to build like a home for construction skilled labor, and like a place where you are guaranteed to have a job that basically we're making sure that you're earning at the highest rate possible in the market. And that doesn't really exist today. There's no like clearinghouse for labor. Unions left back in the 80s, which kind of played that role. And we think that a platform approach can kind of come in and fill part of the void that unions have left. That's a pretty big, hairy, audacious goal. And it's something that, that's like our mission, is to build like the platform for construction labor, starting in Texas. And we're just like really focused on Texas. That you could spend a lifetime doing that. And if you like, this market is going to continue to grow. It's basically growing like a little faster than population growth is in Texas, which is expected to continue growing, as is US population. So I could spend a lifetime doing it. I've also got a heart for some kind of like, there are like several social issues that I'd like to spend time focusing on that actually dovetail with the business. But I can see myself after this going into, helping with policy reform and in certain like hot button areas that I'm interested in. So if I were to pivot out of entrepreneurship, it'd probably be towards that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Moody. This has been great. This has been a lot of fun.
So, what's your parting message? Like, what are you saying? You got somebody riding in their car, going to work. What do you say to them?
Oh man, that's a great question. I was actually just having a conversation like that on the way over here, and I would say, especially when you're young, it's not like you should be taking risk. And I would say, even if you're someone like, especially if you're someone who grew up with like quote unquote privilege, like very loaded term, but like depoliticize it. If you have like resources behind you, a good education, I personally think that you have like a personal responsibility to go take a risk that creates opportunity for other people. And so I would say, if you can, and you have something that you're passionate about, like go do it, whether it's creating art that makes the world a more beautiful place to live in, starting a business that employs people, helps your customers, you name it, like take on the risk. And like usually opportunity, like capital, good employees, they follow smart, passionate people. So that would be my parting message, is just go jump into it.